Hey there, it is Thursday, which is my Monday, as my weekends are Wednesdays, and this last week has felt like a fever dream. Both my kittens got spayed and neutered, and they are almost 6 months old. They're babies, and they are siblings, and they just love to jump and run and do all the kitty fun stuff, jump on the highest things they can find, and that's stuff they cannot do after getting spayed and neutered. But I share that because my schedule has been a little bit all over the place this last week, in work-wise, routine-wise, my practices, and my eating habits. I also got my mung last week, so it's been very much all over the place. I've been working from bed almost all week. Thankfully, I had a lot of computer work to do, but I wanted to take this beginning of the week as my excuse to get back into my routine and eating habits and organizing and being back in my studio and all the good stuff. So this video will be a mix in between what I eat in a week and also a reset routine of sorts, because this week is a reset routine for me, coming back to my routines and practices and eating nourishing foods. So here we go. I hope you enjoy it. So most of the recipes that I'm sharing with you come from the Ayurvedic protocol that I've been following last year. I've been doing Ayurveda for the last 2 years. This is my 3rd year, but I've been with one specific practitioner. This is not sponsored, by the way. What I loved about her program is the fact that she shared a lot of recipes, and I love recipes to learn how to cook food that is out of my comfort zone. I tended to be a monomaniac food-wise and also art-wise, you know, like doing all the dots and all the repetitive things. With that program, I learned a lot about the importance of eating differently, or eating as various foods as I can, and that's something that I didn't used to do. I used to be someone that first of all skipped breakfast, and then I could eat the same thing for a month. I had no problem with that. A quinoa bowl was pretty much the one thing that I ate every single day. And yeah, so this one here is one of my favorite easy breakfasts. It's a spiced apple breakfast, and you'll see in my recipes and my cooking that I use a lot of ghee, and I will usually first heat up the ghee and then cook the spices that I'll be using. I've been learning how to use a lot of spices, and once the flavor and the aroma of the spices come out is that I add whatever I'm cooking in it. So today I'm going to be using what I have, which is cardamom, anise, cinnamon, fennel, and I think that's it. And then add water. Stir for like 10 minutes or so. That's it. And it's not always that I can do this, but I've come to realize that one of the things that really helps me organize myself and my work and my eating during the week is trying to start lunch whenever I'm cooking breakfast. So right now I'm waiting for the apples to stew, and now I try to just prep a little for lunch. I'm gonna be eating chicken, some veggies, rice, and a tahini sauce. So what I can start doing is peeling my veggies and cutting them down, so whenever lunchtime comes, I only need to put the chicken in the air fryer and get the rice going. So hola Maxi. Has venido por el zucchini, ¿no? Okay, it's actually been a good chunk of hours since I had breakfast and I last recorded, but today I was working on something that is very new to me, very out of my comfort zone, so I would rather not film that. Long story short, I was asked to make some sample watercolor paintings for greeting cards for the farm that I work at. Mother Days is around the corner, and they wanted to see if I could make handmade greeting cards for the guests, and they wanted to see some samples first, but this is not something that I do. If you've been here for a minute, not only because of food but rather for my art, you may know this is not the way that I usually use watercolors, so definitely not my expertise. But as we say in Peru, uno se tiene que cachuelear como pueda. So I don't know how to translate that. Like any jobs that are even not your expertise, but that you know you're capable of doing, even if they are out of your comfort zone, that, you know, might help you put some food on the table, you'll take them. So I've been doing these as an alternative. I also let them know that making handmade cyanotypes might be something cool to explore. So I also took some photos of some cyanotype samples that I have, and I'm starving, so let's go make lunch. Being honest with you, I was a little hesitant to make my first lunch recipe have meat on it because I'm still making peace with the fact that I am eating meat, and it's been, I believe, 2 years since I've been fully back on a regular non-restrictive diet, eating in Ayurvedic ways. And you'll see throughout this video that I don't eat a lot of meat, but showing meat in a photo or video is something that I personally haven't done peace with. I don't know if any ex-vegans, ex-vegetarians, or ex-pescatarians like myself are still navigating that. And I think it's a slow process. Like if I go back home and eat ceviche, I have no problem posting that. And I guess I'm asking myself all these questions. Why do I feel this way with specific sorts of meats? It doesn't make sense, but it's the reality of what I feel. So, okay, let's stop the philosophizing and let's get to make lunch. Alright, so I've only been sharing and filming this part of the kitchen because, first of all, I almost burned my kitchen the other day, and you can see a test of that here. And then the other thing I was going to say is this is a mess, so welcome to the real mess of everything going on. But what I wanted to share with you is that usually after lunch, and I forgot to film this today, so I'm just showing you that I take some herbs. These are a mix of 4 different Ayurvedic herbs. I get them in, not in bulk, but in a big bag, and then I make this mix of 4 of them in like a random jar. And usually I will make some hot water and drink them with a little ghee and hot water. And I'm also very big on doing teas throughout the day. Before we continue with today's art vlog, I just want to say thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Squarespace is the virtual home of my website, art portfolio, webshop, email campaigns, member areas, and so much more since 2018, and I cannot recommend them enough. Lately, I've been loving the tools to offer services and get paid all in one place. From in-person to online gatherings, you can share your offerings with customizable website designs catering to your vision and needs. Plus, their built-in appointment scheduling and email marketing tools can help streamline your workflow. Squarespace and I are partnering up to offer you a 2-week free trial, and once you are ready to launch, you can use the code Caro Arevalo to get 10% of your first purchase of a website or domain with them. Now let's go back to our vlog. It is Friday, and today for breakfast I am making arroz con leche, or kheer, or rice and milk, kind of like a rice pudding. So the spices that I use for these are cinnamon, clove, cardamom, fennel, anise, pretty much whatever I have at home. Raisins, today I have black raisins. I also use rose petals, maple syrup, and vanilla. I mix all of these with ghee. Afterwards, I add my basmati rice, and once the rice and the spices bring out the smell, el aroma, I add milk, a little bit of water, and let it cook for around 20 minutes. And it's the most delicious once it's ready. Sometimes I add some more rose petals, a little bit more maple, and have that as breakfast. I didn't used to eat so much sugar and carbs for breakfast, but I believe one of the reasons why we started doing that within my Ayurvedic protocol was so then at night I wouldn't crave as much sugar as I usually do. I still crave desserts because I love them, but I'm fine if I don't have one. So at night, whenever I get that sweet tooth, what I would have is a warm cup of milk, and that would usually take that craving away. Buenos dias, good morning. It is Saturday and I'm about to do breakfast. This morning I soaked some split mung bean, and there's this mung bean pancakes that I absolutely adore. They're one of my only savory breakfasts, and let me show you how I do them. This is a recipe of Rana, who is an Ayurvedic practitioner that I was working with last year and earlier this year. As you can see, the soaked mung beans have water, so I'll actually use this water as well instead of tossing it. I honestly don't know if it's annoying to you that I don't use measurements, but I honestly don't use measurements. So for some reason the cats absolutely try to eat this mung beans. I think they love it for some reason, but what I do is I add the water and the mung bean into the blender. You might already realize that there's a pattern to the way that I cook, in the sense that yesterday I also used parsley and cilantro and kion and garlic, so I try to use the same ingredients, especially with stuff like parsley that have to buy a lot. So for it not to go bad, I try to use it in as many recipes as I can. So lastly, salt and pepper, and that is it. So here I'm adding the split mung bean that have been soaked in water, the water and the grains that I have. So parsley, cilantro, mint. If I would have basil, you can add oregano, thyme, rosemary, you know, any greens that you like. Of course, salt and pepper. And then I just blend it up. Heat up my pan with some ghee and make pancakes, and I eat these with a chutney. And while the pancakes are cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and do my chutney, which I'm making with parsley, cilantro, mint, ¿cómo se llama? Some ginger, lemon, olive oil, maple syrup, salt, and pepper. And I also wanted to chat a little bit about buying food. I buy as much as I can organic, and I usually tend to just go to the farmer's market and get what they have there. But our farmer's market is opening up in 2 weeks, so it's not currently open. It hasn't been open all winter because of course, and I of course go to the supermarket there, and that is honestly new to me, and I am far from being perfect. You know, like I use bananas for one of my breakfasts, and bananas don't grow where I live, so just trying my best, getting what's local from the farmer's market. Okay, garlic. Sigo diciendo garlic. Ginger. Pepper. Limoncito. Chutnito. And voila, pancakes, mung bean pancakes with mint and cilantro chutney are ready. Provechito. Something that I've been really intentional about is not being with my phone when I'm eating, and not being with a screen, so not watching TV or anything else, and really just sitting down with my food in silence for a moment if I'm eating alone, or engaging in conversation with whoever I am. But so different than what I used to do 6 years ago of eating breakfast while answering emails or trying to paint or whatever. So I feel it takes so little for us to eat, like 10 minutes, and it can be 10 minutes of silence and just a reset of sorts. So bon appetit. It hasn't been the most productive day, but that's fine because I still did a lot of advances at work. So tomorrow is Sunday, and tomorrow I'm posting a video. So the first thing I did today in my art studio was leave everything ready for that video. And then I've been working on granadilla. Today I did some advances on the leaves, the stems. Tomorrow I'm gonna be working on the flower, the granadilla fruit, and the actual veins for the leaves, which I didn't get to do today. But today I'm leaving my studio early because it's my friend Gabriela's birthday, and the theme for her birthday is Bellatrix Potter. So I'm gonna dress up like Roger Rabbit's mom, so the mama rabbit, and I chose that just because I have the clothes. So a blue dress and a light apron, and I'm gonna head there. And I've come to realize that this video is not a video called what I cook in a week, but rather what I eat in a week. So I'm sure I'm gonna be eating some stuff there. So, and I forgot to say, for lunch today I had leftovers from yesterday's pasta pesto of sorts. Good morning, it is Sunday and today I'm having spiced oatmeal for breakfast. It's very similar to the way I do my stewed apples and the arroz con leche. I start by heating up some ghee, adding spices, then adding my oatmeal, and on a separate pan I add some ghee, pieces of banana with cinnamon and sesame seeds. It is almost 11:30. And this morning I've been working on posting a new video that I just uploaded to Instagram. So I was working on the thumbnail and doing the Instagram stories and engaging there for a little bit. And I wanted to share that because I feel that some mornings, even though my aim is to have breakfast before 9 a.m., the best I can do some days is have breakfast by 11:30. And I think that's still good enough to still eat something in the morning. So learning how to be a little bit more gentle with myself in those days where I'm not tackling everything in the ideal schedule, but rather in a real life way of showing up. And I am very sleepy today. I would rather not work, but I think it's at the end of the day all about consistency and showing up rather than just doing it when you feel motivated. And it's such a gloomy day. It's been raining yesterday. I feel that the weather controls my mood. We'll have a good work day today. Good morning. I hope you're doing well. It is Monday and I thought I had pears, but I don't. So today I'm gonna be eating stewed apples, very similar to the first breakfast that I had in this video. So I pretty much just will toast some spices with ghee, and from there I'll be adding apples. I think I'll just do one because I'm actually not very hungry. Apples, water, let it stewed, and breakfast ready. So let's get into it. This is an interesting week for me because I'm heading to the city on Friday and Saturday. I am teaching a watercolor and mindfulness class at the Alchemist Kitchen. It's my first time teaching there and I'm so excited for that. And I'm so excited for Saturday because I was invited by the New York Mycological Society to share a drawing foraged mushroom class. It's like an open format, so people can come in and out in the slot of 2 hours and stay as long as they want. And this will be at the Museum of Moving Image. It's for a mushroom party festival of sorts, in the one they're celebrating film and science related to mushrooms. It is still quite early, but I'm already getting hungry, so I know that making my kitchadi will take a little bit of time. And as it does take a little time to cook, I'll start cooking right now. I also just finished one section of the work that I've been doing. I finished the sketches that I've been adding to my Peruvian fruit painting. And this seems like the perfect break because after lunch, I'm gonna start doing the painting, so this is like the perfect transition activity. I've pre-grinded my spices, so I have a little pack where I have a mix of the ones that I use for curries or kitchadis. Anyhow, I will start as always, a little ghee, heat up my spices, then I'll add the mung bean. Usually I leave those for 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, I add the rice, and in 10 minutes after the rice, I add the veggies. And 15 minutes after adding the veggies, I usually add any green that I have. So today I have parsley and coriander, which you have seen me use all this week. And once I add that, everything's ready. ¿Quieres venir? Good morning, it is Tuesday and today I am making apple pancakes for breakfast. This is an Ayurvedic recipe from my teacher Rana. ¿Quieres estar conmigo o quieres bajar? ¿Quieres estar aquí?